I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk to folks from the VTuber community about their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. Slurmpa joins us. Hi.
Hello, hello.
Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Hello everyone. My name is Slurmpa. I'm your NPC VTuber who specializes in Metroidvanias, but also is choosing to branch out and trying to make a name for himself.
Yeah, well, then, about time an NPC got a name for himself. Instead of randomly getting killed off in every game.
Oh, of course. That happens every single time. You sometimes you just gotta step out of the system.
Yeah.
Reject everything, yeah.
That's right. Take over and go from there. That's
Exactly.
So, how did you get started on VTubing?
So VTubing for me was actually inspired by one of my friends. I met them online and I met them as a VTuber. And I watched them for an extensive period of time, and I that actually because during the time I was in college and I was still trying to find myself a bit, and I was watching them create this amazing community, and I thought I wanted to try and achieve something similar, or at least that was something that I wanted to do, at least the streaming portion of it. So from there I started to plan, and I started to think about, okay, so I would have to try and contact like artists. I have to get reference sheet. I have to think about my computer because I did not have a good one at the time. And right now my streams are kind of an in-between phase where I just have a free to use model, but I'm slowly working towards that vision that I've had.
So if you were to put a random date on when this vision might come to fruition, what are you aiming for?
Um, the so hopefully by I want to say uh okay, so let me think for a second. So I'm getting a character reference sheet. I'm getting a character reference sheet done hopefully by midpoint of this year, which is in about 2 months. Wow, time flies.
Yes, it has this year.
And then I'll have to go because I'm not I hate to be like I'm not the other VTubers kind of person, but my end goal is not really a live 2D model. My end goal is a series of animations that I can toggle in between. I believe someone might have oh no, I think it was someone else. There is another person that has a setup that is what I'm aiming for. They're called I believe it's Goblin is their name.
Okay. So it's more of a reactive panel type thing.
Yes. Because I've always felt that that for me, I wanted to be able to exaggerate my voice and have a personification that matched with it. So I want to have something that I can kind of click and be cartoonishly more than the live 2D models typically are, you know?
Yeah, and hopefully it won't cost as much.
Could have still out on that one. Yeah.
I hit a sore spot. Yeah. Well, I mean,
there's always going to be some financial troubles in that department. Yeah.
Well, once you got started, now how has it gone since you got started? Have you been able to go in and hit the ground running, or what?
It's more of a slow crawl, at least from my perspective. I've seen other people start off, and because they have a great design from the get-go and they have a better idea of what they're doing, they go out and they get a lot of followers, and they know how to network and get other people and set up collabs. I went in with some experience, but I went in with kind of the perspective of a watcher of like indie VTubers, not like really think about all the technicalities that would have to go into it.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm slowly climbing up. I'm making my progress my way, and I'm trying my best not to compare myself to anyone.
Well, that's a good way to do it, and as long as you're enjoying yourself while you're doing it.
Oh, I absolutely am.
That's good. I mean, what is the best part for you? I mean, obviously you get to play games online, but what do you enjoy the most out of VTubing at this point?
I think for me, it is a mixture of. I mean, it's just a socialization because when I play games, a lot of the time, if I'm not with my friends, I usually play solo player games. But
Mhm.
streaming gives me the opportunity to feel as if I have an audience while I'm doing so, and I think that kind of scratches an itch in my head.
Mhm.
Um, Throughout a lot of my life, I didn't have a lot of performative arts going on.
Right.
I've had to focus a lot on education. I had to buckle down and make sure I could try and get a steady future for myself. So this was kind of like scratching that itch that I was told to never touch in the first place.
Ah, so instead of we hear about some people who were drama kids through school, you specifically stayed away from it on purpose.
It was I was pushed towards science and math, and I
Hmm.
went towards a specialized high school for that.
Ah,
Uh, so now when I'm doing all of this, this my VTubing journey is the absolute start of everything for me. I've wanted to do voice acting. I got myself a tablet. I've started doing video editing. It is a whole new world.
so all that pent up energy is now coming out.
Oh, absolutely. The only issue is I gotta like harness that energy because I have a lot of like motivation. I just don't have the ideas yet, you know?
Well, I mean, sometimes it's better to just wing it and see what happens. But you do want to have some plans going in, and obviously you've got some plans to kind of update things as the year goes on. What type of
Yeah.
games are you enjoying playing right now?
So currently, I am playing Hollow Knight.
Mm.
I believe you. I just recently finished the Trial of the Fool. If anyone is aware of what that is,
I'm not. What's that all about?
Oh, okay, so in Hollow Knight, there is a Coliseum, which is basically an arena where you spend a solid amount of time just fighting enemies and trying to survive with limited resources.
Wow.
The Trial of the Fool is the hardest of the three. I have spent about a month trying to finish it.
Hence,
But
hence,
it
hence the last word in the title. It sounds like something
fully,
I should have
fully,
already
yeah.
gone through. I should have lived this one.
But most recently I actually finished that. Unfortunately, I finished it off stream. So
Oh
the
no.
most I could have done was I posted a screenshot of it on Twitter and it was like, I finally did it. We can now do everything else in the game.
After all that, you and
I thought it was never gonna happen. I was like, I'm just gonna I finished my job. I come back home. I'm gonna relax a bit. I'm just gonna boot it up and practice a little bit. And then now,
now, well, after you finally got through it, did you first of all, there's probably a wave of finally success, and then it's not on stream.
it was yeah. Because I was in call with some friends and they
Hmm.
were watching. We were just talking, just sharing stories. Um, and I finished it, and they were like, "Oh, we're so happy for you!" All that, and I was like, "Yeah." And their immediate reaction was, "Why do you sound sad?" I'm like, it's supposed to be like these achievements. I feel like this might not be the healthiest mindset, but these achievements can mean a lot more when when you have them recorded, when you have them so that other people can see, or you could go back yourself and watch them.
Yeah, yeah, it's good content. That's what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Plus people will believe you. But you had the photographic evidence, you know.
I got the photographic evidence. I
That that
got that.
that's never altered. AIs won't alter photographs or anything like that.
Oh God, to talk about AI is a whole can of worms.
I'm going to leave that can sealed for the moment, and we're gonna,
All right.
so what other games are you looking at right now?
So I'm currently looking at Content Warning, which is a multiplayer horror game similar to Lethal Company.
Yeah,
Um, Another game which a lot of my community is actually wanting to see me play is Fallout New Vegas. I've never played it before.
I have, and that's
It's
one that, and it's so much fun.
I've been told that so much. I'm worried that I'm gonna have a really big perception. But I do know one line from that game,
Hmm.
which is the game was rigged from the start.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I know.
Yep, you'll hear that one. I'm not going to spoil
Um,
anything for you, but I'll say that, you'll lose some hours.
I appreciate that. Not
Well,
not the losing hours bit. I'm a bit worried about that, but I think it'll be a fun journey.
it's very immersive. I played. I'm old enough to have played the one and two, and
Ooh.
I'm too old to probably play anything past New Vegas. But
Well, to be fair, from what I've heard, like 76 and the more recent ones are not the
yeah,
greatest.
I don't even. 76 is too high a number for me. So the New Vegas was a lot of fun. I've played it a few times,
Mm.
but if it catches you right away, stick with it because it'll be fun at the end for sure. So that'll are you going to do that one online?
Yes, yes, absolutely. So I'm gonna make my schedule after this interview,
Uh-huh.
and I have several events lined up. We got Hollow Knight. We actually I usually stream 2 times per week, but this time we got three.
Hmm.
Hollow Knight, Fallout New Vegas just starting out, gonna be a blast, and I'm actually gonna be in a collaboration with one of my friends.
Oh yeah. What's that collab
Yeah.
going to be?
So that collaboration is it okay if I like promote it a bit? Is that all right?
Absolutely. That's what we're here for.
All right. Um to our wonderful listeners, if you have time, tomorrow at from 4:14 all the way to 4:17, I think.
Hmm.
Um Nova Polaris, a great, wonderful content creator, is doing a donathon, so that she would be able to go to Offkai and I think that's the main purpose, yeah. But I'm gonna be there, playing Lethal Company with her, and it's gonna be an absolute blast. We have a lot of people going in on that collab, and it's gonna be chaos.
No. Yeah, it's chaos anyway on that game.
True, that's true.
So okay, so that's coming up. We'll have this probably up on by the 14th. That's going through the 17th, and how do they get? How can they do that through your uh, Twitch, or do they have to be on their Twitch?
Uh, I will be streaming one of those days on my Twitch, but I will say for to give proper attention where it's due, it is best to head over to twitch.tv/Nova Polaris EN.
Hmm. Okay, all
That
right.
felt really robotic to say.
NovaPolaris.en. Hey,
Yeah, yeah.
almost came out AI again. We're not gonna talk about that.
Oh God, stay away from it.
No AI is involved at all. So,
Not yet.
yeah. So, is there any games on the horizon you're looking forward to stream?
Games on the Horizon is actually a bit of I'm kind of lost in that direction. I'm my plan so far is that I'm always gonna have one Metroidvania game,
Hmm.
which but by the way, I don't know if I ever clarified what that meant.
No, go ahead.
Okay, Metroidvania games are a style of game which is open world and often has backtracking and a free flow state. Is that the best way to describe it?
Yeah.
Basically, it's Metroid. It's how do I say it? Um, the aesthetics of Metroid and Castlevania being a huge overarching map that you
Hmm.
can explore at your own, and there's ability gated areas and yeah.
So it's a wide ranging. It will encompass you for a good long while.
Yeah, it is very. I love diving into them. I kind of miss playing them not on stream because I could just focus on it and not worry about being personality and being active. But
Right.
sharing those moments is still important to me.
Well, that sounds good. Now, I just don't. I asked some folks about games on the horizon, and it doesn't seem to be a whole lot people are looking forward to at the moment. Um,
I think one of the things is that so far all the games that's come out that caught a lot of people's attention have come out of nowhere. Like if you think about Lethal Company
well, yeah,
or Helldivers 2 or now it's gonna be content warning,
yeah.
they all just came out and sucker punched the media in the face.
Yeah, I would. I was in the media for a long time, and I got and had to duck a lot of times from people trying to sucker punch me. But the that is good. I mean, that means something can come up and surprise you and really catch you off guard,
Yeah.
and it also allows you to go back to maybe some that you've had sitting in the library for a while that you haven't been able to get to. Is there is
Oh,
it is there anything that you're at every time you go by and you look like, oh, I really probably should play this.
so I have an extensive library due to Epic Games. Epic Games gives away a free game every week.
Hmm.
And so I've just collected them and they're just sitting there staring at me like, Slurmp, when are you gonna play me? Come on, open me up.
Somebody
I
worked
will
hard on
say
this game.
we spent so much time, come on.
So much
I
money
will
that you
say
put into it.
yeah.
So what type of games are those like arcade types or are they long-term type games?
A lot of them I think are gonna be long term.
Hmm.
I did buy one that is relatively short, but for the most part, most of them are very extensive long ones. Let me just take a look real quick.
Hmm.
There's one called Golden Light, which I think is very interesting.
Hmm.
Um, Dishonored is one that one of my friends absolutely loves, and I do want to play it on stream at
Uh-huh.
some point. I will say, in terms of games, flipping the script a bit, for games that I will not play, um, one of them is visual novels, because it takes a very long time to get through them, and by the end of my stream, I typically my throat just can't handle it anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
You end up having to voice all the characters and
and trying to remember which voices go with which character sometimes as
yeah,
well.
yeah, and that's one of the things that radio people always are jealous of voice actors because we can only do one voice, and this is
I think you have a very solid. I will admit something now. Here for preparation of this interview, I listened to a lot of your episodes on my way to work and back.
well,
You
thank
have
you.
a very nice voice.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's fairly unique. I'll go with that. But it's if I could even if I can do a voice, I can't do it a second time. And it'll never come back. So I couldn't do anything like that, which it just I would love to. But being now seeing other folks being able to do that from their homes is great for them because here you've got a chance from your home to entertain a bunch of people all over the world that you'll never meet. How about that?
That is still insane to me. Yeah.
Wow. I've been able to talk to folks who are standing upside down on the other side of the world from the seat I'm in right now, which is pretty amazing. And back when I started in radio, you couldn't have done that uh, for one because the phone lines wouldn't have reached, and it would have sounded like someone's yelling into a tin can. So it and would have cost $1 million besides. So
But
this is really cool.
yeah, yeah. Now with Discord and with just fiber optics with internet, we can connect anywhere. It's crazy.
It is, and folks have been connected with yours. How is your community doing? Have you got a good solid bunch that stays with you?
I really appreciate them. I think we're still quite small.
Hmm.
We've had a couple rough times, but we're getting our foothold. We're trying to get our identity.
Hmm.
I've been doing my best to promote it by doing weekly watch parties. Although I understand everyone's quite a bit busy. I had a bit of an issue with it because when I started streaming, I streamed at an earlier time,
Wow.
which allowed me to get an audience with some from some people from Europe and whatnot. But now that I've streamed later, I've definitely they can't make it because they're asleep.
Well,
So it's been a struggle to try and get that foothold back.
yeah, and if you're concentrating on Twitter or I'm sorry, Twitch alone, it's tough to get that audience to stay up until 3 a.m. their time to do so, or whenever they're at work if they don't allow the internet at work. Um,
Yeah.
that's some people switch over to YouTube, and do some content there. But that doesn't, if you're doing something and you're doing a long form type of thing and put it on YouTube, that doesn't really help your Twitch account, does it?
So, in my opinion, it it doesn't, because for YouTube, I've heard that generally it's a lot harder to get discovered, but it's also hard to get discovered on Twitch. So I can't really tell you for sure.
Mm.
I think for YouTube, I think just as a general practice, it's good to get yourself out there as much as possible. Because I know a lot of people do TikTok in addition to Twitch, and they have YouTube channel as well. They're just trying to get their name out there as much as possible.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm sticking with Twitch because I can't handle the simulcasting and having to deal with all the technicalities. My streaming is not big enough where I'm like, I gotta go all out. This is gonna be the one thing I'm gonna focus on and build up and whatnot. I'm letting it be a relaxation thing for me.
Well, I mean, I would have, if I were a live streamer, which I haven't done, and I had to worry about two audiences on two different platforms, my eyes would be crossed the whole time, and I couldn't concentrate on anything.
Oh, I already have trouble concentrating from stream because I'm doing boss fights, and I look over and people are going crazy in chat. I'm like, what do I pay attention to?
Have you been able to keep going on the mostly keep that balance between gaming and interacting with chat for the most part?
For the most part, I've always prioritized chat because the game will always be there. You know, I can try as many times, just make sure not to like get salty and blame chat for doing anything because you're the one in control. You know, but I always like having more interactability and paying attention to chat more because I think the crazy moments that occur are priceless.
Yeah, it's something. It really gets down to no matter what you're doing as a performer, you, you can perform for yourself or you can perform for other people. And sometimes performing for other people is performing for yourself.
Yeah.
It does, and if you don't kind of take that into consideration, sometimes you have to do stuff you don't particularly enjoy online. But if the crowd says go, then go.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. But also, it is also important to keep a balance and remember that there's some boundaries that you always got to draw. Like if they want you to go in a certain direction with your persona, you always got to draw that line and be like, hey, look, we're all friends here. We just got to keep that limit.
Yeah, and there's always something toxic that can happen, and you have to keep an eye on it. And if you don't have the mods, that might be a little tough to do. Have you been able to ride herd so much?
Yeah, no, I mean I haven't. So it's funny because the biggest issue I've had so far has not been people getting rowdy and whatnot. It's just been the graphic design bots. They've been boarding in for some reason. I don't understand what it is about me.
Well, I did want you to know that I can do graphic design for you, and it's
oh God.
no, I really can't. I really cannot. I would.
Hey, maybe one day I'll commission you just to have that out there to see what it's like.
You'll get erased over and over stick figures is what you'll get, and they went.
Perfect.
And even those won't be any good.
Actually, speaking of drawing, I think I mentioned before, but I just started drawing on. I just got myself a tablet and I tried drawing for the first time in like several. It's been a long time. Yeah, I never drew extensively. So it's funny that you mentioned stick figures because I got onto my drawing software, and the first thing I drew was like a stick figure.
See, you got me beat already. You were successful. I can't do it successfully. Well, I got to tell you, it's been a pleasure talking with you, and I want to get you on again. You let me know when everything gets going here and you get everything, rebranded and going. We'll have you on for an update, okay?
Yeah, I look forward to that.
Absolutely. Now, folks, if you want to check out what Slurmpa's doing, we're going to have links in the description for the interview. check out Slurmpa. You heard what he's all about here. Slurmpa's gonna give you a good time, and appreciate you coming on.
No problem at all. Appreciate you having me.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.